Good afternoon, everybody. Fred Grunwald here. Today is Saturday, the 21st of November, and today I'd like to talk about big ticket program selection criteria. In other words, if you are looking at big ticket programs and you want to compare one to another, here are the things that I looked for when I joined the 4 or 5 big ticket programs that I've gotten into. Now, some of the big ticket programs that I joined, I was comped into. In other words, they didn't cost me any money to join. So, you can set some of this criteria aside when you have a unique situation like that. But when I joined Prosperity People Systems, I was paying actual money out of my pocket. So I wanted to be sure it had all the things that I feel a big ticket program needs for success. The first thing, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for you. The first thing is the compensation plan. Since you're getting into a big ticket program to make money, the most important thing is that plan has an attractive way that it pays you. There are actually 3 main categories of comp plans for big ticket, and the best one is where when you sell one or you get a member to sign up underneath you, you keep 100% of the sale. Now, Prosperity People Systems is unique. Oh, you know what? Before I get started, let me ask you to please subscribe. I think it's right down there, or there. How about there? Subscribe and click on that bell. And please leave comments about the video, and I will respond to you. Okay, I'm trying to put out 1 video a week because my YouTube videos have really started bringing in quite a bit of business for me. Okay, so the best plan is where you keep 100% of every sale. The reason that is good is because obviously you aren't splitting it with anybody else, so you get to keep all the money. In the cases of programs where you're going to split 50-50, like this third one, split pay, company closes your sales, people seem to really like that type of a plan, and I actually have it listed third because it's really not the best, because if you want to make $5,000, you've got to find somebody willing to spend $10,000. So if you're only getting half the money, I know it may be attractive to have someone else close your sales for you, but I can close your sales for you and you can still get almost 100%. I charge 20% to close your sale. Okay, and I can show you how to do that for yourself. And that's the most important part, is that you'll learn. The second best type of plan is, okay, now there's an admin fee obviously with this, but it's a very small admin fee relative to the amount of money you're spending to join. It ranges from $167 up to $547 at the $11,000 level. So that's really not that much money. The second best comp plan is the much hated 1-Up comp plan. A one-up plan means simply that you pay your money to join, you pay your admin fee, you get your website, you start marketing, and the first person that you sell is going to send his money not to you, but to your sponsor. So your sponsor gets paid when you join, and your sponsor gets paid again when you pass up your first member to your sponsor. Not only does your sponsor get your first member, but also gets that person in his downline as well. So when the first person that you pass up to your sponsor, when he signs up his first person, guess what? Your sponsor is going to get that too. So you can create an infinite stream of people passing their first sale up to you. Unfortunately, the first person that doesn't get their first sale breaks the entire chain. So people hate these one-up plans because, it's kind of devastating when you get your first sale to have to give it away. But you have to remember that everybody that you recruit from then on is going to be giving their first sale to you. But it is a tough plan. It's meant to create some residual income for you, money that you make but don't have to work for. And Prosperity People Systems also has that in the form of roll-ups. If you're at the 3,500 level and you recruit somebody at the 11,000 level, you're going to go ahead and get $3,500, but the rest of it is going to roll up to your upline as long as your upline is qualified at those levels. The third comp plan that's out there that's popular is the 50-50 split pay, and some of them are 70-30 and 60-40, but typically it's a 50-50. And the company says, and we'll close all your sales for you and send you a check for 50%. Now, it sounds great, and if they really do it, it can be great for you. But here's typically what happens. The company sells marketing. And when you think about it, you spend money to join, but you spend a lot more money on marketing. So these companies like to get that money. Why should they just tell you go to this company or go to that company and get your marketing? They will sell that marketing to you and take a cut. And that's not so bad, but what even makes that worse is what I call lead poaching. A lot of times the leads from that marketing, they go to a closer, they call them, or a coach that will close the sale and send you your half. But once you give up your leads, you really don't know if those leads are being worked on. Now, some of the companies I know have back offices or they have different ways to rate and tell you about what leads are coming in, but you still don't really know. And you aren't going to pay attention because you don't have to do the work. So what you need to have is you need to get your leads first. And then you need to give that lead to somebody to close for you. That way you're aware that, we're talking thousands of dollars here. So let's say a guy comes along and wants to join at the $11,000 level, and he calls and you're the person that's closing him. you can't help but have that greedy thought of, what if I just close this and tell them to send the money to me and I don't tell anybody about it? That happens all the time, and companies have been caught doing it. Uh, and I'm not going to really mention any names because, I don't want to get in trouble. But there are a couple of big companies that have done that. And, in the beginning, when they first open their doors, they send commission splits to people so that they can get the testimonials and show the checks and all that neat stuff. But 2 or 3 months later, when the sales are really rolling in, the lead poaching begins. And, I know a guy, and I will keep the names out of it, but he mailed 50,000 letters out and made a bunch of money at the beginning of one of these programs, letting a closer close the sales for him. He liked the results, so he mailed 50,000 more. And 50,000 letters, you're talking, 70 cents a piece at the cheapest. So that's not inexpensive to do. Got no sales the second time, zero. And he just, he knew there was something going on. He got very aggravated about it, did a YouTube video, told everybody that he could, and then he even started his own program so that he could have an honest program for people that would close their sales for him and really send them the commissions. But the bottom line is that if you want to have your own business and you want to make money with that business, you really ought to. I mean, would you open a restaurant and let everybody else run it for you and go down there once a week and have them hand you what was supposed to be the profit? Here's your cash, sir. In a cash business, and even a business with charge that you take credit cards, whatever, you have to be involved or you're going to get stolen from. And I have firsthand knowledge of this because, I had a bad bookkeeper that stole a lot of money from me. He went out and bought a car with my money. It just, once that happens to you, it'll never happen again. So I think this is the worst payment plan. There are ways to get your sales closed so that you know that there's a sale being closed out there and you can give the lead to the person closing the sale. And then the next week you call them up and say, what's going on with that sale? Did you sell it? And if the guy says no, then at that point you can call the person yourself and say, did you get a call on this, etc. So just the fact that you can do that, make sure that things go along honestly. Okay, so your compensation plan is by far the most important part of picking a program. Almost as important, and could be just a tie for first place, is the support that you receive. Your admin support and your sponsor support. I have a fish story to tell. The very first big ticket that I joined was called the People's Program, or TPP for short. They call it the granddaddy of all cash gifting programs because it was actually started back in the 90s, and it was the first program to offer replicated websites so that you could market your website. People would go and visit your site, and once they did, you got notification that they had gone to your site. You get their email address and their phone number. And what you were supposed to do was call them immediately and thank them for visiting your website. Well, that worked, but you ended up calling a lot of people that when you said, thanks for visiting my website, they said, what website? You said the People's Program, and they said, what? I never went to that website. And you end up arguing with someone whether they really took a look at your website rather than do they want to start a business. So I actually did pretty well with the People's Program, mailing postcards, but I can still remember sending my $3,500 to my sponsor and coming into my office the next day. I had a little office at that time, and thinking to myself, okay, I've got a website, I've got my computer and my telephone, and now I have to call people and ask them to send me money. I mean, that's basically it. You get this vehicle or a website or whatever you have, and now it's all up to you. And so what you need is you need somebody that will show you how to make money with the business that you have. It's really the same thing with any business. I've been self-employed all of my life except for 5 years when I had first graduated from college. I worked for a Fortune 500 company, and I learned a lot. And then I went out and bought a business. So when I bought the business, I didn't know how to make money with that particular business. The 5 years that I spent was for a company that was in the same type of business. It was HVAC equipment sales, but the product lines that the business I purchased represented were not only the company I used to work for, but 40 other companies. And you have to have somebody to show you how to make money with it. And so the guy that I bought it from was going to retire, and he trained me for a year before the buyout went into effect. I worked for him for a year. So what you need is you really need somebody to show you the way. And there are so many stories of people sending off their 1,500 or 3,500 or 7,500 or however many dollars you send off, and they're, the one up and the 50/50 programs go all the way up into the $20,000 and $30,000 range. And you got these people telling stories of how they spent $30,000 and never heard from their sponsor again, couldn't get a hold of the guy. So you have to be sure that you're going to get a sponsor who will really help you and who is reachable by phone and online. And you got to be sure that you can get help from or get in touch with the admin. I mean, if all of a sudden the website goes down, what do? If the website's not up, you're not going to make any money. You have to be able to call or get in touch with somebody and say, hey, the website's not working. If the guy's off on an Italian cruise or something, then you're stuck there with no help. Okay. The third, so you got to have help. In Prosperity People Systems, I train you, every single one of my people, and I even train the people that my members recruit. I just want to be sure that everybody that comes into the program has help. And what I do is I connect us with a screen sharing program. Actually, Windows has one built in that I just found out about. And so you grant permission for me to share your screen and also take over mouse control. And we share the screen and we talk on the phone, and I show you, how to get into your back office and how to market and all that stuff. So that's what you need. And not many people do it. You will find sponsors that you can call on the phone, and whether they're always available, you never know. But I'm pretty much available 7 days a week. Okay, so now program infrastructure and resources. This just means that the program has to have a nice website. If it attracted your attention, chances are it's going to attract somebody else's attention. It should have personalized capture pages. You should get a replicated website, and it should have 1 or 2 or 3 capture pages that you can choose from. And that's one of those pages where you go to the address and it asks for your name and your email address. You put that in, you click on yes, let me in, and it connects them to your website. That's how virtually all online marketing is done, by capturing the email address of the person that's going to visit your website, so that your autoresponder can then send follow-up emails. And that is how you're going to get sales, and that builds a list for you. Every one of those emails that you capture is someone that you can market to for the rest of your life, usually, unless they unsubscribe. So your autoresponder ought to have follow-up emails that are already written for you. You should have a marketing manual and a training manual. And of course, you should receive some products when you join a program. No matter what level you join at, there should be a group of videos, downloads, and book downloads that will help you in the training process. But usually you need one person, like your sponsor, that's going to interact with you and show you how. Okay, so here are the reasons that I chose Prosperity People Systems. I saw I could keep 100% of the sale. When I saw that, I thought, oh, wow, that's big, that's huge. That's like saying, I'll pay you double. The video needs to be short. PPS is the only overview video that's 15 minutes long, 14 minutes actually. And every other one that I've seen is 45 minutes long or longer. One program, OPM Wealth, you got to watch 12 videos. Not only got to watch all those videos just to get into the program, but you got to pay in Bitcoin. So if you don't know all about Bitcoin, you don't have any Bitcoin, you got to learn all that too, just so you can join that program. Nothing wrong with Bitcoin. Actually, Bitcoin's zooming again. So I got 100% of the sale. There was a short video that showed me exactly how the program worked without a whole bunch of beaches and cars and women and all that stuff. And it had the best lead qualification system. I've been in programs where I did one of these robocall broadcasts. They call it a voice broadcast. And it automatically dials people up, and they hear you talking on a message. And if they're interested, they leave you a voicemail. Well, you go in there and, the first two I did, the first one had no messages. The second one, I got like 7. And then I did a different one where I got like 130 messages. And I was pretty happy about that until I started playing them. and 60% of them were people cussing me out. And out of that 130, I think I narrowed it down to like 20 people that were worth calling back. And when you started calling those people back, you got their voicemail, and that whole game began. So, a lot of those people, they just want to hear about the business, but they don't necessarily want to join the business. With PPS, what you do is you go to the person's your capture page, then that person is redirected to your website. They watch the video, they read the website, they go down and look at some of the testimonial videos, and then the only thing that they can do if they want to pursue things is leave you a callback request. It's a phone number that people call. That's your personal 800 link voicemail box. When they call it, the outgoing message is about 2 minutes long, and it tells them to, it thanks them, and it does a really professional job of communicating to your prospect that they need to, if they want to leave you a message and they want you to call back, they have to have watched the whole 14-minute video, read the whole website, and they have to have the cash to get into the program. We don't really want to call people back that don't have any money. I mean, God bless them. We'd love to tell them all about the program, but we don't really have the time to educate, people on how the thing works if they don't really have the wherewithal to get in. So that's what's great. And once they do that, they're asked to leave their name, their phone number, what's the best time of day to call them back, and what level they're interested in joining at. And once they leave that message, you get a email notification. You look in your emails and it'll say you have a new message. And the email will be from 800 Link. When you open it, it shows you the phone number of the person that called. And then there's an MP3 file, which is an audio file of the actual message. You click on it and it's like, hi, this is Tony in Toledo. I got 3,500 cash in my hand right now. Somebody needs to call me back and tell me where to send it. That was my favorite message of all time. But 90% of the messages that I get are from people who basically say, I'm very interested in joining this program. I do have some questions. And then they leave their number and the best time to call. And I call them back and I close them. And really, there's no mysterious thing about closing. You just have to answer their questions. You're just having a conversation with them. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit too long on my video here, going on 28 minutes. So that's how this works. And I believe that this program has the best comp plan and the best marketing system of all of the programs. If you'd like me to go over a program for you and tell you what I think about it, leave it in the comments. I'll look it over and I will send you an email, or I'll leave it right in the comments for you. All you really got to do with PPS is order a marketing campaign. There are text blast, solo emails, and ringless voicemail campaigns that you can do online. Offline, there's a 4-page color flyer that can be printed and mailed for you. And there are postcards. I've done well with postcards on this program as well. So if you want to talk to me, you can reach me at 513-593-4126, or you can go to my website. Let me see if I can't just find it here. It's www.cashsensation.com. And the number for the callback request is found on the website. So www.cashsensation, SENSATION, sensation.com. My cell phone number is 513-593-4126. I have been in this going on 2 years now, and I've had 6-figure years both years. So it's really the best and easiest home business that I've been in, as long as you have somebody that'll show you how to do it. Thanks very much for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.